Since the dawn of time, humanity has learned to build walls. We erected wooden fences to keep out wild beasts. We built castles out of solid stone to halt the march of our enemies. And in the modern world, when night falls, you lock your bedroom door, draw the curtains, and breathe a sigh of relief. That layer of concrete and wooden door provide you with a beautiful illusion that whatever is on the outside will remain on the outside forever. The SCP Foundation once shared that same glorious belief. They possess underground facilities buried miles beneath the earth. They have titanium alloy doors meters thick, alongside the most advanced magnetic field systems and biometric locks humanity has ever created. They imprison gods, reality-bending entities, and bloodthirsty monsters using those very walls. Until they realize that, to some things, a wall is not a boundary. It is merely a joke. What happens if the monster hunting you doesn't need to break down the door? What happens if it can simply walk through the most heavily reinforced concrete layers as if they were made of smoke? And worst of all, it doesn't kill you immediately. It hunts you for fun, craves your pain, your panic, and your screams. Today, we are opening a file steeped in the foul stench of decay. A file that proves one thing: all of humanity's defensive efforts are utterly meaningless in the face of time's decomposition. Welcome to SCP-106. Welcome to the kingdom of the Old Man. If you read the containment procedures for SCP-106, you won't find the Foundation's usual confidence. You will only find despair. They don't contain SCP-106. They are merely trying to slow it down. This entity's containment cell is a maddening patchwork of physics and pure fear. It is suspended in midair by a massive magnetic field system, situated inside a large room kept far away from all other personnel. That room is encased in no less than 40 different layers of material: lead, steel, and concrete, alternating endlessly and separated by empty voids. Why must it be so complicated, and why use lead? Why suspend it in midair? Because SCP-106 hates complexity. Materials that are too solid or have constantly shifting textures cause it to lose its bearings, requiring more time for it to pass through. The Foundation isn't using an iron cage to lock up a beast. They are using an intricate spiderweb to slow the footsteps of a ghost. And even then, containment breaches still happen as an absolute inevitability. SCP-106 always finds a way out. It's only a matter of when. So, what exactly is locked inside those dozens of desperate layers of material? Visually, SCP-106 takes the appearance of an elderly man. But that is all that remains of the concept of human. His body is in a state of advanced, acute decomposition. He looks like a bloated corpse that has been soaking in acid for days. Rotting flesh sloughs off in chunks. But he is not dead, and he never stops moving. More horrifyingly, SCP-106 secretes a thick, black, viscous fluid from every pore. This chemical does not exist on the periodic table. It is an anomalous acid capable of decomposing, corroding, and melting any solid matter it touches, from wood and steel to human flesh and bone. When SCP-106 walks through a wall, he doesn't break it. He causes that wall to rot in a matter of seconds, creating a slimy hole of black fluid, and nonchalantly slips right through. But the sheer brutality of SCP-106 lies neither in his appearance nor that deadly acid. The brutality lies in how he hunts. SCP-106 doesn't attack blindly, and he doesn't need to eat to survive. He hunts purely out of cruelty, favoring victims who are young. He will stalk them, sometimes hanging upside down from the ceiling, diving into entirely absurd blind spots thanks to his ability to phase through solid objects. And when he attacks, he doesn't finish his victims off. He will strike their heels, sever their hamstrings, shatter their kneecaps, or corrode non-vital internal organs. He incapacitates his prey, rendering them unable to flee, leaving them to writhe in a puddle of blood and grotesque black fluid. Then, while his prey is screaming in agony, SCP-106 will slowly drag them through walls and pitch-black quagmires, pulling them entirely into his own realm. A pocket dimension where the laws of physics do not exist, where time stands still, and where the old man rules as an absolute god. What happens inside that space is something the Foundation can only piece together through a handful of recording devices. And let me tell you, there are things where dying instantly is 10,000 times more merciful than being dragged in there. Close your eyes and imagine. You are the old man's victim. He has just emerged from the floorboard right beneath your feet. His rotting hand violently grabs your ankle. A reality-tearing pain hits as the black acid begins to eat through your flesh, melting your heel down to the bone. You collapse, unable to run, yet he is in no rush. He drags you slowly, sinking into the rigid concrete floor, which has now turned into a dark, pitch-black bog reeking of corpses and rust. You hold your breath in terror, and then you plunge straight through to the other side. Welcome to the pocket dimension. You open your eyes to find yourself lying in a dark hallway. The walls are lined with heavily corroded, rusted metal plates oozing that same pitch-black liquid. The space in here does not obey Euclidean geometry. A perfectly straight corridor might suddenly curve into an endless loop. Gravity shifts constantly. Sometimes the wall becomes the floor. Here, physics is a dead concept, and time is heavily distorted. The SCP Foundation notes that 1 minute passing in the real world can stretch into days or even months of excruciating agony inside this space. You begin dragging yourself on your shattered legs, crawling through hollow, empty rooms. In one room, you see corpses hung upside down from the ceiling, entirely flayed, yet still clinging to faint breaths. In another, the walls are made entirely of tightly compacted human bones, blackened and oozing fluid. And then you hear footsteps. The old man is not in a hurry to kill you. Why rush when he has an eternity to play? He releases you into his labyrinth, letting you ignite a faint, fragile spark of hope that you might find a way out. He lets you crawl and drag yourself, clawing at the iron walls until your nails bleed. He watches as despair gnaws at your mind. He smells your sheer terror, and only when you have completely broken down, when you are weeping and begging for death, does he finally step out from the wall, smiling with a rotting mouth, and begin his real work. In this world, you are not a human being. You are a plaything made of meat, and the old man is the sole lord. As I said, walls are useless against SCP-106. Containment breaches are an absolute certainty. He will phase through 40 layers of lead and steel, surface in a random Foundation hallway, and begin his hunt. So how does the Foundation, the ones who swore to protect humanity, force him back into his cell? This is the naked, darkest truth, one that completely redefines the morality of the SCP Foundation. They do not capture him. There is no weapon that can take him down. Instead, they lure him back by giving him the one thing he craves the most. Pure agony. They call it the Lure Protocol. When the old man breaches containment, the Foundation selects a Class D personnel, typically a young person between the ages of 10 and 25. They strap this person tightly to a mechanical chair right outside SCP-100-SIX's empty containment cell. This chair is connected to a public address system broadcasting throughout the entire containment site. And then, the machine is activated with no anesthesia and absolutely no mercy. That machine is designed to slowly, bit by bit, break the victim's femur, one of the hardest bones in the body, causing the most absolute, unbearable agony when crushed. The resulting scream is broadcasted. It's not just a sound, it is the frequency of despair, a hymn of sheer pain. The old man, wherever he may be in the facility, will stop in his tracks upon hearing that pure, authentic scream. His bloodlust stimulated, he will abandon all other prey, slowly phase through the walls, and return to his containment cell just to personally claim the source of that scream. The moment he steps inside, the magnetic field is reactivated. The Class D victim is left behind with him in the cell as a reward meal. The old man falls into a satisfied slumber, and silence is restored. You see, the SCP Foundation does not contain SCP-106 at all. They are entirely powerless against him. What they are doing is simply offering up human sacrifices to appease a rotting god. In exchange for the safety of the majority, they are willing to carry out the most atrocious acts with their own hands, turning themselves into cold-blooded monsters. The boundary between protector and devil. has long been corroded by black acid. After everything the SCP Foundation has done, thousands of personnel dead, and hundreds of femurs broken, they still know one glaring truth. The old man is only resting. He will wake up, and he will walk through those steel layers once again. Because in the face of time and decay, nothing is eternal. We always place our trust in the walls that surround us. We lean our backs against them, seeking shelter from the cruel world outside. But tonight, as you lie in bed, curled up under your warm blankets, cast your eyes up to the ceiling. Look at the walls in your room. If you happen to notice a tiny stain on the wall, a pitch-black spot that looks like mold or rust, slowly spreading and dripping a viscous liquid that reeks of a corpse, don't bother running and don't try to lock the door, because the very wall you always trusted has betrayed you. And in that moment, you will understand the feeling the SCP Foundation has to face every single day. The absolute terror of realizing you have nowhere left to hide. A good night's sleep is a privilege not granted to everyone.